Salutations, boys and girls and kiddos of all ages, and welcome to another video of posing action figures with Toy the Poser, and I am your host, Toy the Poser. Now, as I quickly try to make videos before the end of the year to try to showcase all the toys that I bought for this current year, and at this point it's obviously crunch times, but I was always make time to say thank you to all my returning guests, my subscribers, and to my new viewers, to whom I would like to say this is not your average toy review channel, just a simple showcasing of all the things that I like to collect in the form of toys and action figures. So behind the camera, I go into giant mode to showcase the next action figure for the video. Whoop, whoop. And as you can see, we have ROM the Space Knight, and although this is a character that is in Marvel Comics, I guess a little brief history before we get into the brief history about him. He wasn't actually a Marvel product or Marvel Comics product when he first started, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, for those who like packagings and barcodes or whatever, what have you, or to read these things like that, here you go, here you go. And I'm trying to move it around to avoid the, because I noticed the glare. And yes, this was a wave with Ultimate Iron Man, Adam Warlock, Dakin or Dakin, or however you pronounce it, Marvel's Banshee, and Ultimate Miles Morales, who, as anybody that don't know, and for those who do know, we have versions of these characters already. I have, well, not Ultimate Iron Man, but yeah, I think we did get an Ultimate Iron Man suit, but maybe not for Marvel Legends. I can't remember. I just know that I have an Iron Man, and I don't, it's one of those Iron Man, I should say, because to people that know that I don't like wasting money on getting multiple versions of characters I already have. So yeah, I just feel like that's a waste of money, even though that this is our first, like, let's say Dakin and Adam Warlock since the early days, but I still think those old ones still hold up. I might do an old video one time showing the characters that I have or I feel like still hold up. But okay, once again, packaging. Okay, and yeah, but Ultimate Iron Man, unless you're one of those people that like to make a Hall of Armor, Tony Stark's Hall of Armor or something like that, yeah, that's the only reason I would get him. And it's like, that's one of those situations where I'm like, if I saw him like doing a trip to Walmart or Target or whatever, and I was like, there's an Ultimate Iron Man there, and I just have some extra money in my pocket, and there's nothing else I want to buy here, then I'll pick it up. But other than that, nah. Okay, but yes, ROM the Space Knight, in the single card back, however you want to pronounce it, packaging or whatever. But anywho, all right, let's just, I guess, magical poof him out of this and see what we get with our ROM the Space Knight. All right, so magical poof. Okay, so as much as I try my best not to rant about my action figures and toys and stuff, they often do things that I don't like. Like the whole purpose of, I guess, or gimmick of this wave or something like that is giving the I guess the characters or their comic or whatever, or like a plastic little version of the comic or whatever. I don't know what the point is for this thing. I know it was a waste of plastic, which means that it was a waste of money, which means that they could have done something else with this, like giving us another blaster effect that clips on to his little weapons, as you can see. And he has two, you know. They do different things. That one weapon is one thing and one is another thing. But this little effect piece fits on both. So since we have two of those, why didn't you use this stupid this opportunity to take? You know what? Like I said, I'm trying not to rant. Okay. I try my best, guys. I try my best not to rant. One day I'm just gonna just get it off my chest and make rant videos. just to release some frustration. All right, and all that situation. But yeah. And apparently he can hold this thing for whatever reason. I don't know. Because these hands, I mean, comes with alternate hands. One fist, and I'm assuming that he's right-handed. So if he's gonna punch somebody, it's gonna be with his right hand. Okay. Two gripping hands, and as I stated, I'm pretty sure it's, of course, why wouldn't it be, meant for his weapons, as you can see. So that's why I switched out the other little palmed hand that obviously it's supposed to hold the stupid comic, which it does not a good job of. Or maybe it's just, meant to be a mitten hand. But yeah, can us, I guess if you kind of, well, there you go. All right. I guess if you do that, you can make the grip hand hold the comic for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's a stupid effect. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. And since I already switched out the other hand, we're gonna, I because I want to hold the guns when I pose them, I'm gonna switch this hand out. Okay, and put in both of his, as I just did, his weapon holding hands. And that's what we shall do with that. And there you have it. We have ROM, the Space Knight. I'm gonna put him on the rotator. Don't worry about it. But let's put him in a quick cold pose. He is moving rather well. Okay, and we all know you're supposed to heat up your action figures before you pose them. But I mean, he is moving smoothly right now. ROM can fly. Well, I'm going to let you guys know all of that anyway, but yeah, so because he got boosters and stuff. He has an ab crunch. Okay. Like I said, the reason why I don't really do like that whole full, I did the wrong leg. The whole full, I guess, review section where I do articulation reviews and stuff like that, because I feel like the other channels do it better. You know, I'm sorry, guys. Man, Rom, he is really moving. I mean, I'm actually quite shocked that they did this for us. Wow, let's put him on I mean, sometimes you just, that is a hell of a crunch. Okay, I think I spoke too soon about the. Okay, there we go. I am quite impressed at how smoothly and quickly I got him into a kind of like a little pose that I kind of like. So yeah, let's put him on the rotating rotator and give y'all a brief history of who ROM the Space Knight is. Okay, so all right, here he is. And as I said before, if I said it once, I said it a million times. There's no such thing as the perfect flight stand or stand period, but I make do with what I got. So yes, so far that these little ones has been working quite well so far. But as you can see, all right, a cool little pose. I think, you know, that basically represents Rom or his characteristics in a good light. But speaking of characteristics, let's get out to bring out the monitor to do a little brief history on who he is. Well, with slight adjustments to that little pose that I was so proud of just a few seconds ago, it looked like, you know, we've had some technical difficulties and I had to kind of adjust him a bit so the monitor here can fit in. But as you can see, because we're going to get into the brief history of him, ROM the Space Knight is a male that, as you can see, it has two different heights. So 6'1" and then 7 feet as the Space Knight. And I'm finna tell you why he has two different heights and weights and eye colors and hair and all of that. Because so back in 1979, 3 men at a toy company named Parker Brothers created ROM the Space Knight. Just some little, well, it wasn't that all of that little of a toy. It was a toy, an electronical toy. All right, little spaceman. Moving on. But to help promote the toy a little better, Parker Brothers licensed the character out to Marvel Comics, to where the creative team at Marvel Comics created the whole mythology and backstory for ROM. And the story goes a bit like this. Deep in the Golden Galaxy, in the Galdorian Milky Way star system, or whatever you want to call it, it lies a little planet called Galdor, a highly technological planet, yeah, with very smart life forms on it. Now, the people of Galdor, the Galdorians, were under attack by a race of demonic aliens called Direwraths, or Wraths, or whatever. I'm trying my best to pronounce these names that I've only seen and never heard. Anyway, they were under attack. So the Galdorian government decided to build a army of fighters to help defend planet. So they put out a call for any volunteers that would help, and a man by the name of ROM was the first to volunteer. And of course, there were people that were against it, like Raina, ROM's girlfriend at the time. Basically, was, as a girlfriend was totally against him doing this and going through this strange procedure that the government wanted to do to these volunteers to help protect the planet. But duty called, and Rom basically reassured his girlfriend that everything would be all right and his love for her would never die. So he and another handful of other brave Galdorians went on with this procedure where the scientists made them into basically cyborgs, what they call space knights. And let's take a moment to take a quick look at these guys because they look actually really cool. So Hasbro, if you're listening, which you are probably not, here are some good ideas to add on to our, ROM the Space Knight collection, and building another team if you want to. But we already know that Hasbro's not too good at promptly building teams. So moving on. So merging these brave volunteers' DNA with a metal or material called plangulum or something like that. Basically turning their body into complete metallic armor or whatever. The first generation of Space Knights were created. Now, along with the armor that they equipped them with, Rom himself has several weapons or devices that he uses. One is his analyzer, and I guess I'll get more into actually what they do, on down the line when I talk about his abilities and stuff like that. But they're pretty much self-explanatory. So an analyzer, a neutralizer, and a translator, something that we did not get. So while they was up here giving us stupid things like a plastic comic book that doesn't even open or do anything else, they could at least gave us a translator for ROM to have. But I'm not ranting. This is not a rant video. Okay? So while constantly battling and pursuing the Dire-Wraiths all throughout time and space, or the cosmos, or whatever you want to say, ROM eventually landed on Earth, where here ROM would team up, fight alongside, fight against, and have other conflicts with some of Earth's greatest heroes and villains. Like the time he encountered an early version of Rogue, where Rogue was attempted to try to kiss him. By the way, if anybody didn't know or see my video showcasing Rogue and Destiny 2-pack, Rogue is a mutant that has the ability to siphon the powers and abilities from whoever she touches. So when she tried this attempt on ROM, she realized that she couldn't do it. Basically, the only thing she did was gain his kindness and compassion for other people. And even the heroes of Earth would later go to, I guess, planet Galdor to help Rom fight in his war against the Direwraths at the time. So that was a thing. But when he returned, and after that, I guess, great battle or war, as they called it, the Great War, Rom took on the position on his planet as the supreme leader of his planet. And for that, he stood for a minute until the Direwraths came back for revenge. And I guess started it all up again. Started fighting each other again. But this time, the Direwraths came with some reinforcement called Wrath Knights. And the Wrath Knights and Direwraths basically put a plan up to try to assassinate Rom. And during this, attempt assassination, somehow, some way, Rom mysteriously vanished. So he was presumed dead at the time. But he wasn't dead. Okay, Rom was, I think I kind of got the timelines mixed up or something like that, but somehow, some way, Rom got into a conflict with the X-Men, and Kitty, I think it was Kitty Pryde, got a hold of his neutralizer gun and blasted him with it and sent him to Limbo, place like that. But yes, but speaking of the his weaponry and things of that nature, Rom's translator, which is not, it's not equipped with here, gives him the ability to originally, it's already pre-programmed with linguistics of a lot of different species and of other creatures and aliens and life forms of that nature. And it allows Rom to instantly learn new language. It's as quick as possible. His analyzer, I should say, is a device used to detect Direwraths. So the Direwraths are basically shapeshifters, and to make sure he's not blasting the wrong one or talking anything like that, he has a device to scan anything or anybody that he think could be a Direwrath in disguise. And of course, his neutralizer is basically it's adjustable. It can neutralize, as it says, or it can basically kill. So it has levels to it. But he basically mainly uses it at the time to, blast Direwraths, who basically it was meant to send them into a place called Limbo, which, as I said before, Kitty Pryde, I believe it was Kitty Pryde who eventually got a hold of it and shot Rom with it, used it against Rom, and sent him to Limbo. Now, Rom's armor that he's equipment gives him, abilities within itself, so it can siphon, energy on contact, and it can store it for solar power, or where he can use it as an offense or a defense for itself, as a weapon. It gives him superhuman strength, stamina, durability, and it also gives him the ability to fly. And, with the armor on, he doesn't need to eat or breathe or sleep in this form. with his armor on. And it also gives him super senses. So, and the armor can also self-repair itself, automatically. And helps him heal himself. Whoop. And there you have it. So let's size him up real quick. Whoop. Representing the 1/18th scale action figure size, we have my man Michelangelo from the Viacom Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, standing in at around 4 inches tall, give or take, of course. Whoop. And representing the average 1/12 scale action figure size, we have Stan the Man, my main man, Stan the Hasbro Marvel Legends Stan Lee action figure, standing in at 6 inches tall, give or take. Whoop. And representing the 1/10 scale action figure size, we have Batman, The Dark Knight Returns Batman from the McFarlane DC Direct action figure toy line. So, which means that ROM, as you can see, is head and shoulders above everybody. Stands at about, let me bring in your ruler. Are we lucky? Oh, he's actually taller than, well, no, he's not. He stands right there at 7 inches. Yeah, like he's supposed to. So, yeah, 7 inches tall, because originally he's 7 feet tall in his armor. So, yeah, ROM is technically the exact height he should be. All right, in 1/12 scale form. So, there you have it. Whoop, whoop. And there you have it, kiddos. We just showcase a new Marvel Legends action figure. First time in, well, actually the second time as a toy, but first time as in Marvel Legends action figure toy. So, thanks for stopping by, ROM. See you around, buddy. Whoop. I actually thought he was gonna fly. But, oh well, that's the end of the video. So now it's time for me to give you guys the same advice that my mother would give me when I was just sitting around and had nothing else to do. Go somewhere and play. And I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Bye.